Hello. Today, we will look at George Orwell's masterpiece, Animal Farm. This work may seem like a simple fairy tale, but it is actually a novel that sharply satirizes politics and society. What kind of story is it? Let's find out together. The author George Orwell is a British writer and journalist who left behind many works criticizing totalitarianism and the corruption of power. His representative works include 1984 and Animal Farm. An Animal Farm is especially famous for being a fable, satirizing the communist system of the Soviet Union. He is a writer who deeply explores the problems of socialism and dictatorship, based on his own experiences, and emphasizes freedom of speech and thought. Let's summarize the plot. The story begins on a farm in England. The owner of the farm, Jones, is lazy and spends his time drunk, not taking proper care of the animals. Then one day, Major, the most respected pig on the farm, gathers the animals and gives a speech. He argues that humans exploit the animals, and that the animals should join forces to drive out humans and run the farm themselves. Soon after, Major passed away, but his ideas were passed on to two young pigs, Snowball and Napoleon. Eventually, the animals rebelled and drove out Jones, taking over the farm. They renamed the farm Animal Farm and established the 7 Commandments, based on the principle that all animals are equal. The most important of these was all animals are equal. At first, the animals worked hard and voluntarily to run the farm. However, as time passed, conflict arose between Napoleon and Snowball. Snowball tried to improve the lives of the animals by proposing progressive reforms, while Napoleon tried to monopolize power. Eventually, Napoleon used his dogs to drive Snowball out, and he became the sole leader. Napoleon agitates the animals and spreads false information, using a pig named Squealer. He accuses Snowball of being a traitor and exerts even more control over the animals. At first, the animals who worked for the common good gradually work more and more, and Napoleon and the pigs act more and more like humans. As time goes by, the animals are exploited more and more, but they cannot dare to rebel because of propaganda and politics of fear. The pigs start to trade with humans, and Animal Farm gradually becomes a place that is no different from the original Jones farm. Eventually, the pigs dress like humans, drink alcohol, and even hold meetings with humans. The animals who watch this through the window realize that they cannot tell who is a pig and who is a human and despair. I will explain by selecting 5 keywords. First, power and corruption. As the saying goes, absolute power corrupts. Absolutely, the process in which Napoleon takes power and becomes a dictator shows this. At first, he appears to be a leader for the animals, but as time goes by, he uses violence and fear to maintain power, enjoys privileges, and becomes more and more corrupt. This is an important message that shows the nature of power that can be seen historically. Second, propaganda. Squealer, a pig, brainwashes the animals by spreading lies and distorted information. He emphasizes that Napoleon's policies are always right and threatens the animals who oppose him, and repeatedly instills fabricated facts. This is similar to the way dictatorships control the media and manipulate information to deceive the public. It shows how important it is for the public to have critical thinking, so as not to be swayed by propaganda. Third, equality and class society. At first, all animals were believed to be equal, but gradually a structure was formed in which pigs became the privileged class and ruled over other animals. The revolution that initially called for equality ended up creating a new class society. This is a problem that has been repeated throughout human history, showing that attempts to create an ideal society can become distorted over time due to the concentration of power. Fourth, the degeneration of revolution. Revolutions often start out idealistically, but over time, they often give rise to a new dictatorship. The process of Napoleon ousting Snowball and monopolizing power reflects the historical event of Stalin removing Trotsky and seizing power in the Soviet Union. This suggests that revolution is not simply a change of system, but requires constant checks and surveillance. Fifth, ignorance and manipulation. As the animals uncritically accept the lies of those in power, they become increasingly oppressed. The pigs constantly change the rules, and the animals do not question them. This emphasizes the importance of education and critical thinking, and clearly shows why dictators first control education and information when controlling the masses. In the end, the ignorant masses are easily manipulated and exploited. Although Animal Farm seems like a simple story, it provides deep insight into the society we live in. In particular, it sharply shows how power can be abused and reminds us of the importance of critical thinking and democracy. This work does not simply criticize a specific political system, but deals with universal problems across human society. It shows how those in power manipulate and propagandize the public to maintain their positions. And it delivers the message that we need to constantly be suspicious and seek the truth in order to stop this. In addition, Animal Farm show the gap between the ideals of revolution and reality. The process in which revolutions that initially called for equality and freedom gradually degenerate over time, and a new ruling class is born as a phenomenon that has been repeated throughout history. Through this work, we can learn the lesson that we need to not simply change the system, but that we need continuous monitoring and checks to prevent power from being abused. Above all, Animal Farm delivers a message that is still valid in modern society. Freedom of the press is suppressed, false information is rampant, and attempts by a small number of powerful people to manipulate the public continue even now. Therefore, we should not accept this work as a simple allegory, but use it as an opportunity to look back on our current society and think about what attitude we should have in the future. How do you interpret this work? Please leave your thoughts in the comments. If you found today's video helpful, please click the like and subscribe buttons. We will continue to come back with more interesting content. Thank you.